Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. I am Jim Coppinger. I am the technical principal here at ZenTek Consultants, and today I'm going to be doing a topic called simplifying email and notification processes in Procore. Now, if you're thinking I don't have Procore and you're going to bounce out of here, hold on a minute. This is not a Procore sales focused presentation. What I'm really talking about here today is really simplifying the email and notification process. And the process we're going to cover here, I'm doing it in Procore because I have Procore, I use Procore. But it really is the same in most modern project management systems. We can do it in Autodesk Construction Cloud, we can do it in Builder Trend, we can do it in Top Builder, right? Whatever you're using, the concepts are the same. And what I want to point out to you guys, this is kind of a subset, a practical demonstration that ties into our ongoing series called Chaos to Control, right? Handling and controlling your construction technologies. And if you guys take a look at the comment section down below, you see that there is a link to the previous video I did, which was, how do I improve communication between stakeholders on a construction job? And if you guys haven't seen that yet, please just pause this video, go jump over and watch that one so you know why we're doing this demo today, and then come on back. All right, so let's kind of get into this, right? So what we're really talking about here is trying to control poor communication, particularly around emails, which are still to this day very excessively used in the construction world. It accounts for, I think, like 80% of our total communications are handled via, standard Outlook, Gmail type emails. And it really leads to all kinds of issues. And the best way to really control that is to get into a project management system like Procore, where you can actively do all of your emailing and communicating and education of everybody who is involved in your job, right, on a project by project basis. You can automatically sort, filter, and control stuff. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to go ahead and pick a project. I'll pick it down here on the dashboard. It's easier. I'll get my little training project here down on the bottom. All right. And you'll see that it brings me into this project. Now, everything that I'm going to do here, I'm going to go into the Home tab, right, and I'm going to go to the emails. But before I do that, that's what we're going to focus on today. But when we're talking about communication and collaboration and working with, architects and engineers and subcontractors and owners and all the other million people we're dealing with, vendors and so on a job, we need to be able to share and control all the information for RFIs and transmittals and inspections and, specs and updates and logs and schedules. All of this data should be centralized into a PM system so you guys can work on it together, share it, and everybody's aware of what's going on and you're not losing emails, which is what we're trying to avoid here today. And I will say that a lot of people do have PM systems and they do use the RFIs and the incident reports and inspections, but most people do tend to still just ignore the email section of the project management. And I think this is a big mistake. It really hurts us. All right, so I'm just going to go in here and just show you the idea behind this is real simple. Instead of sending emails and working emails through Outlook or whatever other system you're using, we can send emails and take in emails regarding this project right here on the project itself. So you see here I've got an inbox. I've got 3 emails right now, right, that are pending for me to reply to. Right? And you see that the emails can be sent from Procore, from people outside of Procore. Right? And what's great about this is when we send these emails, you see that I can, from right here inside the job, I can go in and I can reply all, make them private, archive them. I can create other events out of these. Right? I've got all archive systems, everything, previous ones that I have replied to that are no longer in my inbox that I deleted. I've got a recycle bin, right? It's just a general emailing type program, but every email that goes back and forth in here is being tracked and placed directly in here into your project. So everybody can communicate in one central location. Right? And a couple of things that I think are really, really important here, right, is that number one, when we create new emails, and we're going to create a new one in just a second, I can also add tags to emails. So you see down here, I got things like, concrete and hazardous materials and right, whatever else, electrical, whatever I'm doing, I can add tags so that later, if I've got 3,000 or 4,000 emails on this job, I can easily search and say, hey, show me all the concrete emails or show me all the emails that went to, Joe Contractor, whatever it may be. Whatever tags I add in here, I can search off of, which is really important. The other thing that you can do in here is this is another real nice feature. You can actually take this email address, every job in a project management system. Sorry, I collapsed my side panel there. Didn't mean to do that. Like Procore, is you can just copy out this address, and then from Outlook right? Even if you're creating new emails in your standard email program, you can just CC this address and all those emails will go directly here to the project, right? So it lets you work, kind of, cross-platform, right? So the other thing that I do want to show you here, which I think is just great. I love the way you can create emails and work with emails here. So I'm just going to click on the Create Emails tab. All right, and look, we all know how to create an email. Emails are pretty straightforward, right? That's all we're doing here. But I want to show you guys that it's no different than creating an email in Outlook, but it's just got additional benefits in that. Number one, when I go in here to start sending to people, I can use my project management system like I do here in Procore. I've got my Active Directory for groups, right? So if I got all my bidders for residential work that I use all the time, right? I've got my internal staff, right? Maybe I've got a group of contractors or subs built for this job, right? The owner and the owner's rep for this job and this CM. I can create those groups and I can just select and send to them right away, okay? All right, so I can easily do those. I can CC people over here, right? One of the things that is really important here is this idea of creating private emails, which you can do just by a checkbox. If you send out a public email, anybody who's part of the job can come to the email folder and read the emails that are marked public. That's fine. But sometimes there are emails that you want to send to the electrical guys that you don't want the plumbing guys to see, all right? Or you're sending information to the owner and you want to track it here, but you don't want the subs to see it because maybe it's got some financial information in it. You can mark those as private, and the only people who will be able to see it are your Procore administrators and the people who you send it to. So the only people, if I send it to Dan and John and Tom, they're the only people who are going to be able to see this email. It won't show up in the overall email page for anybody who isn't part of that private group, which is really, really useful. Other than that, you're just going to go in, you're just going to add a typical subject as you normally would. You can drag and drop or click and browse to attach files. And what's really nice here is because you're working in a project management system, I can pull files from my local computer or SharePoint or wherever, but I can also grab files from all the different sections of Procore, photos, files, drawings, forms, specs, whatever I need. Right? So I can attach from directly inside of Procore. Then I can just come down here in the bottom, type out whatever message I need. And probably to me, the most important tool here that really helps to take this email communication structure to the next level is down here at the bottom, which are related items. You see that I can go in here and I can tie this email to literally any other function inside of Procore. So if I'm in here and I say, hey, you know what? This is an email I'm sending about referring to a specific bid. I can just go in here and say, okay, which bid? Here it is. This is the painting bid. Right? And then when people get it, right, I can put any notes I want for it. I can add more connections. So if it's a bid and a change order, I can add more, right? But then when I get these, there will be links directly to this example construction company bid for painting already tied to this email. So people can just click on it and see exactly what I'm referencing. So I can tie it to drawings, to specs, to photos, to logs, incident reports, insurance problems, everything that I'm already managing can be tied to and connected to right here through the email. And then I just go and send it. It's that easy, right? And again, like I said earlier, you've also always got the inbound address. So as you're sending things from your local email, right, your Microsoft email account, you can just send to this and it'll come right in here. And then all of that, any emails that you send in or emails that you send out will appear here in the primary panel for everybody on the job, right? That way we eliminate, the disappearing emails, the emails that I never saw, I never got it, it was caught in my spam filter, that can cost us hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on a job just because people miss the communication. Here, every communication by everybody involved in the job is being centralized, shared, filtered, searchable, right? And it gives you all of the great tools and features and functions that you really need to eliminate all of the communication issues that cost us so much time and money on our construction jobs. And there's your tip for today, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.